Welcome back. Our top story is the last rites of Dr. Manmohan Singh in a short while from now. The cavalcade has already left AICC quite some time back. All the top Congress leaders accompanying. Rahul Gandhi sitting on the same cavalcade, taking Dr. Manmohan Singh along for the last journey. In a short while from now, it's going to be reaching a Nigambodh Ghat, and where he's going to be cremated with full state honours. Prime Minister, Speaker, President, Vice President and the Defence Minister are expected to be there. We still have Siddhant Mishra reporting live from the ground. We have Suhail Seth as well as Mr. Rajgopalan. Suhail, before we enter into break, I asked you this question. Would you have been comfortable with the book, the tell-all book by Dr. Sanjay Baru? Because, you know, it gave in a lot of snippets and a lot of information which you just mentioned Dr. Manmohan Singh never would want to perhaps come out or would want to complain about.
You know, I was asked this yesterday also on a program. I'm a great believer in the freedom of opinion and the freedom of the press. It is Sanjay Baru's call. It's Sanjay Baru's, conscience. He felt he needed to put it out there. Would I have done it? I wouldn't have. But I respect Sanjay. He's an honorable man. He's not the kind of person who's gossipy. He's not the kind of person who's lowbrow. I think Sanjay Baru genuinely felt that there was a story to be told. And it is his story. And he's been criticized for that. He's been critiqued for that. But as I said, I respect Sanjay Baru as a human being. I respect his intellect. And it's his call, frankly. You and I are no one to sit in judgment. Dr. Manmohan Singh, in fact, Sanjay Baru has talked about it, that Dr. Manmohan Singh didn't have any angst. So if he didn't have any angst, who are we?
Yeah, you're right, I guess. I'm just going to come to you, Mr. Rajgopalan. Siddhant is there. Siddhant, well, what's the status? Has the cavalcade reached Nigambodh Ghat, and have the other VVIPs started to come in?
Well, yes, Pallavi, the cavalcade has reached Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, the traffic on both sides of the road have been stopped. The entire area has been cordoned off, and only the police vehicles are allowed. So we could expect the convoy to reach the main gate in some time from now. The dignitaries have started arriving. In fact, interestingly, the Canada has also sent representation today for the final rites of Dr. Manmohan Singh. In fact, yesterday, Justin Trudeau had also sent condolence message, posted condolence message for Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on social media platform X. So right now, the entire area has been cordoned off. The traffic has been stopped. We could expect the convoy to reach Nigambodh Ghat in some time from now. The dignitaries from the diplomatic world have started arriving. In fact, we did manage to speak to some of them. They all are remembering Dr. Singh's legacy and how he has, perhaps strengthened India's relations with the world. And in fact, I did manage to speak to Shashi Tharoor, and he had teary eyes, and he was remembering Dr. Singh's legacy, his contributions from bringing economic reforms to contributing to the domain of foreign policy. And in fact, the other Congress party leaders are also arriving. So basically, Pallavi, there are two gates. One gate is for the dignitaries. They have been giving the access card, and the second gate is for the common man. And in fact, the Congress party workers are being told to go to enter Nigambodh Ghat through second gate. And now you could see the Congress party workers have started coming here in large numbers. And in fact, you could see there is so many people have come here to pay respect to Dr. Manmohan Singh, and they are part of his final journey to Nigambodh Ghat. And in fact, they are taking the second gate to enter Nigambodh Ghat. So the entire area has been cordoned off. In fact, you could see that we are also not being allowed to go to the other side of the road to report. So we have also been in a way cornered by the cops here at Nigambodh Ghat. So we could expect Prime Minister Modi, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar to arrive in some time from now. We could also expect after which Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu will also be here to pay the final respect to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. In fact, Pallavi, there was a notification. There is a notification which was issued by Defence Ministry yesterday, giving the entire schedule of the state honours, the full military honours that will be given to Manmohan Singh. And in fact, it will start at around 11:15 when Home Secretary will first pay respect to Manmohan Singh, after which the chief of three defence forces, Defence Secretary Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, then Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, and then President Droupadi Murmu. So this is going to be the chronology in which the tributes will be paid, the final tributes will be paid, homage will be paid to Dr. Manmohan Singh, and after which the mortal remains will be taken for the final religious rites. The family members of Dr. Singh have also started arriving, Pallavi. In fact, people from his close friends, relatives, they all have been given the access cards here. So they are going through this main gate, and we could expect the convoy to reach in some time from now. In fact, the Congress party leaders have started arriving. We could expect that in some time from now, the cavalcade, the procession, will reach the main gate. This is the gate where we are reporting from, where the cavalcade will reach, and you see that this particular entire traffic on this particular road has been stopped by the authorities, since it's a VIP movement, and also given Gandhi family is a special protectee. So, all precautions are being taken, and the extra forces have also been pressed in to make sure that everything goes smoothly today.
Anytime now, and at around 11:45 a.m. is the scheduled time for the final rites, and in a short while from now the VVIPs will also start turning up, but the Congress party is in full strength over here. Mr. Rajgopalan, very rare occasions where you see all the political opponents coming together. This is certainly would be seen as a reflection on the man that Dr. Manmohan Singh was all about. Whoever may have had differences with him, the Congress has had very bitter equations with the BJP inside the parliament session, but today not a day for that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very tearful, procession, and also homage by the government. Government has done much for it, and everything, Pallavi, don't mistake me, it also leads to Delhi polls. Second thing, Priyanka Gandhi's, Palestine bag, and Palestine ambassador talking to your correspondent, it's all BJP will lap it up now. It's a fodder for BJP. Second thing, I am very sure during 2025, January 25th, when Padma Awards will be announced, Dr. Manmohan Singh is yet to get a very biggest award. So therefore, BJP is moving towards certain calculations. Otherwise, such type of massive arrangements by the PMO, coordinated by its PMO, Rajnath Singh receiving the mortals at the Nigambodh Ghat, and yesterday Amit Shah going, then Nadda going, Nadda Sahab going from the party, Amit Shah and Mr. Narendra Modi going from the government side. These are all certain high positions, they give immense respect. Similarly, during Corona time, when Dr. Pranab Mukherjee's funeral was there, same arrangements were done. So, my understanding is BJP has done much for Dr. Manmohan Singh than Congress. That's what I would like to say. You can stall parliament, but public emotions, public sentiments are with Narendra Modi. And finally, I would like to say, in another 2 months, you are going to have Delhi polls. These all will lead to Delhi polls.
Well, I don't know about that, but I disagree with you, and I kind of agree with Suhail, because today is the big moment which the Congress party is showing. And look at all the chief ministers have come. Everyone has come. And I can tell you, because I covered the party, no one was told to come. They all wanted to come. So that's the thing. And today is a very emotive day for the Congress, because it also happens to be their foundation day. Before I come back to you, Suhail, let me just go across to Siddhant, who is there on the ground. Siddhant, I guess it's reached. But what is the protocol from here on? How does the entire ceremony, if I can use that word, plays out? I mean, who are the ones who will be coming in, and, the brief moment? Do we have any idea about that?
That's right, Pallavi. So everything is already decided. In fact, yesterday, as we were discussing before, that Defence Ministry issued a notification, perhaps explaining that how, in what order the tributes, the final homage, will be paid to Dr. Manmohan Singh and at Nigambodh Ghat, and we could expect that in some time from now, when the mortal remains will reach the main gate of Nigambodh Ghat, and the convoys will enter Nigambodh Ghat, after which at around 11:15 or maybe 11:20, the first Home Secretary will be the first representative from the Government of India to pay homage to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, after which three chiefs of Defence Forces, then Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, Raksha Rajya Mantri, Prime Minister Modi, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, and then President Droupadi Murmu. So this is the chronology that has been put up by the Ministry of Defence. And in fact, you see, Pallavi, in fact, behind me, if I could establish it for our viewers, the diplomats have started arriving, and in fact, there are two representatives to welcome them. One is from the Congress party, and the other one is from the government. So the diplomatic word, in fact, every country is sending their representation to the representative today to Nigambodh Ghat to pay final tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. In fact, Canada has also sent a representative today to Nigambodh Ghat. So we saw the envoys from Australia, UK, Canada, Palestine. They all have already gone inside. In fact, now the wait is going on for the convoy to come to the Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, the senior, I could see Pappu Yadav just arriving at Nigambodh Ghat. Before this, the other senior Congress leaders, especially from the state of Punjab, they are coming here in large numbers to pay tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. We also saw BJP leader Manjinder Singh Sirsa going inside. So, not just from one political parties, but, the leaders from different political parties are coming to pay tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh, because as Shashi Tharoor rightly said, that it's not only India which is mourning, but the whole world is mourning over the sad demise of Manmohan Singh. And there is some announcement, Pallavi, which is going on. The cops are asking people to vacate this particular road, as this particular road has been sanitized, completely been cordoned off. The barricades have been put on both sides of the road. The traffic is only allowed on the other side of the road. So this road mainly has been kept for the VIP movement and for the convoy to reach Nigambodh Ghat smoothly. So everyone here is waiting for the convoys to come. Once the mortal remains will arrive at the Nigambodh Ghat, the state funeral will commence, and it will first start from the Home Secretary, who will be the first person to pay tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh, and it will end with Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu, and after which the mortal remains will be taken for the final religious rites. So the family members and the relatives have also come here, Pallavi, the relatives of Dr. Manmohan Singh. In fact, his old colleagues are also here. The ministers in his cabinet, like Ashwini Kumar and others, they are also present here inside. So, diplomatic word, the leaders from various political parties, the Congress workers, Congress Karyakartas, they all are coming. You see, Pallavi, this particular set of group which is arriving at Nigambodh Ghat. These are the Congress party workers. They have been told to go to the other gate to enter Nigambodh Ghat. So they, police doesn't want any kind of. आप लोग कांग्रेस पार्टी से हैं? हाँ जी, कहाँ से हैं?
मंत्री
गुड़गांव से हैं? कहाँ से?
गुड़गांव से
हैं। तो अभी दूसरे गेट पे जाने को बोल रही पुलिस।
हाँ, बड़ी परेशान कर रखा है।
अच्छा, ट्रैफिक और रोक रखा है।
पता नहीं क्या कर संयोजन का है। मेन क्या ना, हम चाहते हैं ना भाई, कम से कम महान आदमी के हम एक
भावनात्मक लगाव है।
नो डाउट
उनके साथ रहा है।
ऐसे अच्छे आदमी के लिए हम सारे इकट्ठे हो
तो
गए
बहुत
हैं।
सारे स्टेट से आए हैं
हाँ हाँ
कांग्रेस पार्टी के
सब
कार्यकर्ता।
सब डिफरेंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट से आए हैं।
डिफरेंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट से आए हैं।
मध्य प्रदेश से भी आए हैं हम
मध्य
लोग।
प्रदेश से भी आए हैं। ओके ओके सो देयर यू सी पल्लवी, आप लोग आगे चलिए, हम लोग ट्रैफिक नहीं डिस्टर्ब करेंगे। पल्लवी, सो यू सी फ्रॉम मध्य प्रदेश, फ्रॉम उत्तर प्रदेश, हरियाणा, कांग्रेस पार्टी कार्यकर्तास आर coming to Delhi in large numbers, and this is the reason that there have been proper arrangements made for each one of them. One is the gate for the VIPs, dignitaries, and the other gate is for the Congress party workers and the common man. And this gate is for the common man, where you see that all these Congress party workers are taking this route to get inside the Nigambodh Ghat. Now, I could see some senior officials from the Delhi police also arriving. The commissioner of police was here this morning taking review of the entire preparations which were underway. In fact, again VIP has arrived and the diplomats, the people from the diplomatic world are arriving, and we could expect the mortal remains to come here in some time from now. We were told that the procession, the convoy has crossed Rajghat, after which we don't have any update. Right now what I could see is that police is managing the crowd outside the Nigambodh Ghat, and the announcements are being made for the crowd management. The Congress party workers are being told to take gate number 2 to get into the Ghat. The VIPs are being welcomed by the Congress party representative and the government representative, as it is a state honor, a state funeral that will be accorded to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So there is one government representative also at the gate to welcome the dignitaries. In fact, there's access pass that have been given to all the dignitaries to use to get into Nigambodh Ghat through this gate. Now I'm being told that there is going to be a VIP movement, Pallavi. So I'm not sure whether I would be able to speak to you from here because of the jammers which will be put in place by the police due to security reasons. But now I'm not being allowed to roam here. In fact, you could see the gentleman asking, doing the police deployment ahead of the important VIP movement. We could expect either Prime Minister Modi, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, or Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu to arrive in some time from now. So this entire road has been cordoned off. The traffic is only open on the other side of the road. So the wait is still going on for the mortal remains to arrive, for the convoy to arrive, after which the state funeral will commence. Back to you.
Okay, we are seeing those live pictures which are coming in from inside the Nigambodh Ghat, and the interesting part is that not just top envoys, Congress leaders, but there are common people also who are actually coming in, and anytime now the VVIP movement will begin. And I think one of the first persons to turn up will, of course, be the Home Secretary, then the Defence Minister, then, of course, the Speaker, the Prime Minister. Following a protocol, 11:45 a.m. Is when it is supposed to be scheduled time. Let's look at some of those pictures, Siddhant. I can see those pictures of people slowly coming in. Couple of union ministers are also there who have come in. Suhail, I'm just going to try and get in a quick word from you, because, Dr. Manmohan Singh was not called a people's politician, in the sense that he never won a Lok Sabha election. He's not like the Prime Minister Modi or Atal Bihari Vajpayee mixing around with people in that sense. But when you see that even the common people are turning up, and not just party workers, but common people are also coming out, because I was there at AIMS that night when the news came in, and I saw a lot of young students who may have heard about him, have read about him, and especially as a finance minister, wanting to have that glimpse of him. Is today that moment when we can say that here is also a people's person?
He may not have been a political person in the same vein as Narendra Modi or Indira Gandhi or, whoever. But the people loved his style of politics. That's the style of politics people, I think, want. They want someone who'll be decent and dignified and caring and not get into a spat. I'm not for a moment suggesting that his is the only style. There is no better communicator and person in terms of outreach than Narendra Modi. But that's a different style. That's a very muscular style. Dr. Manmohan Singh's style was diminutive. It was very genteel. It bore no aggression. Even if he had ill will, it never showed. If he had a thing to say, he never said it. He let his work speak. You know, many a time, Pallavi, silence is the best antidote to solving a problem. And he used that to great advantage. And when he spoke, people knew that if he's speaking, it's deathly serious, like he did in Parliament on the Indo-US nuclear deal. And he made it abundantly clear that it would either sink or swim with him. And everyone got the message. Sometimes you use speech as a very, very treasured weapon, and not that you use something every day. And I genuinely believe that the outpouring of grief today, Pallavi, and you mark my words, you know, we lost Ratan Tata this year, and we've lost Manmohan Singh. And the only commonality that they had, in addition to perhaps their work or whatever, was both were good men.
Yes.
There's a huge cachet of goodwill for goodness. There's a huge cachet of emotion for goodness. And to that extent, that goodness is what we are seeing. People want goodness. You and I want goodness. We want to be surrounded by good people. It doesn't matter if those people have money or power or stature. Essentially, goodness. And that's what Manmohan Singh was all about. He was about being a good man. You may have found fault with his economics. You may have found fault with his politics. You may have castigated him for his failure to stand up and be counted to corruption or people who were practicing corruption in his cabinet. But essentially, you knew that he was pained by it, which meant that you also knew he was a good man. And very good people almost always swallow the pain. They never let that pain spill over. They almost wish le lena hota hai. So I think we will remember Dr. Singh as a great prime minister, as a great economist, but I will always remember him as a good man who played a great role for his beloved country. That's what Manmohan Singh, to me, will always be. A good human being, a human being who continued to inspire while he was in office, and he inspired not just us, he inspired the world. And today we have to pay tribute. There are very few good men left, Pallavi. If every time a good man dies, we keep raking up silly trivia, we are actually negating goodness. We are not negating anything else. We are telling the world that no, we don't want people to be good. We want people to be nasty. We want people to be clever, filled with guile and bile and machinations. I don't want to remember Manmohan Singh like that. I don't care if A. Raja was corrupt or Kanimoi was corrupt or went to jail or whatever. I don't really care. I know that I had a good man as my prime minister for 10 years.
I totally agree with you, Suhail. At the end of the day, it's the goodwill which matters, and those are the pictures which we are seeing now. The cavalcade has finally reached Nigambodh Ghat for its final journey. Siddhant is reporting from there. Siddhant, I can see the VVIP vehicle, of course, reaching, but I can also see the cavalcade finally reaching the Nigambodh Ghat. Of course, accompanying him is his family and I guess Rahul Gandhi and all of them. Can you just take us viewers through those pictures that we are seeing?
Well, that's right, Pallavi. In fact, right behind me, you could see the cavalcade has reached the main gate of Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, I would ask my video journalist Umesh Sharma to pan and give shots to the viewers. It's a very long cavalcade. In fact, the military trucks carrying mortal remains of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh has reached the main gate of Nigambodh Ghat, but the convoy has to take a U-turn, Pallavi, because they are coming from the opposite side. So it would take some more time, maybe 5 more minutes, to exactly reach the main gate, and after which, the state funeral will commence. And it's a very long convoy cavalcade. full of Congress karyakartas, their vehicles, and both sides of the road, the traffic on both sides of the road have been stopped for now. We are also expecting Prime Minister Modi and President Droupadi Murmu to arrive in some time from now. But what we could see right now is the military trucks taking a U-turn outside the Nigambodh Ghat, and after taking a U-turn, they are going to go inside the Nigambodh Ghat. And on both sides of, at the entry gate on both sides, Pallavi, there are cadets standing, and in fact, there's a band, and the full state honor. The military honors will be accorded to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And in fact, the Congress party workers, Pallavi, have come here in large numbers, to join Dr. Manmohan Singh in his last journey. They have come from the state of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, just to pay last respect to the great leader Manmohan Singh. And as you rightly said, that he was never a traditional, he was never traditionally a politician, but because of the works, the reforms, and the kind of work he has done, which has impacted the lives of people, he has won hearts. And this is the reason that from a bureaucrat to a prime minister, his journey is being, acknowledged. And, today people are remembering him. And there you see, Pallavi, the truck carrying the mortal remains of Dr. Manmohan Singh has arrived on the main gate of Nigambodh Ghat. If I am able to give the visuals of the same, and I would ask my video journalist Umesh Sharma if he could manage to give visuals of the truck entering the Nigambodh Ghat, because we are standing at a distance and the entire area has been cordoned off due to VIP movement. But whatever little we could be able to establish, we will establish it for our viewers. So the convoy is reaching the main gate where I am reporting from, and back to you, Pallavi.
That's right. We are going to stay with these pictures. Anytime now, the process will begin when all the dignitaries will start coming in. Just the countdown begins, another half hour left to go. We are just going to be back after this very short break. Manmohan Singh, well, the cavalcade or the mortal remains has already reached Nigambodh Ghat. You can see those pictures. The Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, also reached in a short while from now. As per protocol, the Defence Minister, then there is going to be the Speaker, the President, Vice President, and of course before that the Prime Minister. With full state honours, the funeral will be held. And all the top Congress leaders are very much here, including the Gandhis and of course Dr. Manmohan Singh's family. And after paying tributes at the Congress headquarters, they left roughly at around 8:30 a.m. from his residence at Motilal Nehru Marg, where he has been staying ever since he demitted office in 2014. There was also the residence of the late and former Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit, and Dr. Manmohan Singh began staying there with his wife Gursharan Kaur. He is survived by his 3 daughters also, and all of them of course are part of the funeral. Look at the close-up of the pictures which you can see. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, her family is also very much there. This is the Gandhi family wanting to pay their tributes to the man who did not the Congress proud but also the nation proud. Apart from that, Rahul Gandhi has been sitting on that cavalcade. The Congress president, former union ministers, the chief ministers of the Congress party, all of them are in attendance. But of course, 11:45 a.m. as per schedule, it's going to begin. So we are just going to look at a countdown on it. You can see the pictures there. Siddhant is in fact inside the Nigambodh Ghat and is getting us all those details. Siddhant, I mean, who all have come in yet now from the government side?
प्रधानमंत्री मनमोहन सिंह को यहाँ पर पहुँचाएगी और
Palavi, the dignitaries have started
नम
arriving.
आंखों से दिखाई दी जाएगी और आगे और जो 7 दिन है उन्हें
Rahul Gandhi on the military truck, and now we saw Home Minister Amit Shah and Speaker Om Birla entering inside Nigambodh Ghat. We could expect Prime Minister Modi and Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu to arrive in some time from now. Right now the dignitaries are still getting inside the Nigambodh Ghat, because since it was a long convoy, so everybody could not get into Nigambodh Ghat it is taking some time. So Pallavi, we could expect a delay of half an hour, maybe, as per the notification of Defence Ministry. There could be a delay of half an hour from the schedule which was given to us by Ministry of Defence Ministry, and but we could expect it to start in some time from now, because all the dignitaries have arrived. Now the wait is going on for Prime Minister Modi and President Murmu. Once these two dignitaries will arrive, after which we could expect the state funeral with full military honors will commence, and after which the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh would be taken for the religious rites.
Okay, and Siddhant, we can see some of those pictures over there. I mean, I can see Rahul Gandhi very much there. The Congress President, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, is there. I think that's Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. That's the family of Dr. Manmohan Singh. And the cavalcade, of course, has reached. So I guess his mortal remains will now be taken inside, and cremation, of course, with full state honors. It must be an emotive day. In fact, it is for everyone, Siddhant. But okay, how soon can we expect the Prime Minister and others to arrive? And also, you have been, tracking it since morning. You did see a large number of people who are neither politicians nor party workers, but they wanted to come from far off to be here.
Well, that's right, Pallavi. This is what the legacy Dr. Manmohan Singh has left behind. In fact, I am meeting people from those who have come from different states, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, to pay final tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. This is what he has achieved. And in fact, whoever I'm speaking to, Pallavi, this morning here at Nigambodh Ghat, has teary eyes, emotional, and when they're talking about Dr. Manmohan Singh, from Maniam Tagore to Shashi Tharoor, even to the smallest karyakarta of the Congress party, some way or the other, Dr. Manmohan Singh has impacted each one of our lives during his tenure as the Prime Minister, and in fact, before that, as a Finance Minister and serving on the various other important portfolios. And this is the reason that he was not traditionally a politician, but because of the duty, because the services that he has offered to the country, today he's being remembered, and the kind of protocol, the kind of state honors, military honors that is being given to him is no less than any traditional politician or perhaps any other former Prime Minister. So this is what Dr. Manmohan Singh has achieved. In fact, in last 24 hours, Pallavi, we also saw that how the condolence messages have been pouring in, not just from India, but worldwide. Today morning, we got condolence message from the White House. We heard it from Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister. We also heard it from the Prime Minister of Mauritius, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Singapore. They all are remembering Prime Minister. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. In fact, the Prime Minister of Malaysia went on to a social media platform to write about how Prime Minister Manmohan Singh offered a scholarship to his son when he was going through rough patch in his life, when there were cases slapped against him by the previous government. Pallavi, here we have a VIP movement at Nigambodh Ghat, and I guess yes, it's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh who has arrived here. Is also one dignitary who will be paying final tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So Rajnath Singh has arrived at Nigambodh Ghat. We could expect after him, we could expect Prime Minister Modi, then Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, and then finally Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu to arrive in Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, Atishi Marlena, the Chief Minister of Delhi, is also here, Pallavi. So we could tell this to our viewers. The Chief Minister of Delhi, Atishi Marlena, has also arrived. So people from different various walks of life, various political parties, irrespective of their affiliation, ideology. They all have come to Nigambodh Ghat.
हम फॉलो करेंगे सर. हाँ जी, हाँ जी. दादा आगे आ जाओ. इधर.
Okay, let me just go across to Mr. Pankaj Pachauri, for long the media advisor to the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Pankaj, it also must be a very, very emotive moment for you, even as you see those pictures. But look at the pictures there, not just the Congress party in full strength, from the Gandhis to the top-down party workers. I can see so many foreign envoys over here. And of course, the Union Cabinet, the Prime Minister, Speaker, and all of them. That's the mark of the man.
Absolutely, Pallavi. And as you have also worked on the Prime Minister PMO beat, you would have known from those days that Prime Minister had a vast number of followers and admirers, especially within India naturally, and especially among the global community. And I've been reading the homages which are being sent by the global leaders, from Joe Biden to Angela Merkel to all our neighbors, Samanaike in Sri Lanka, which shows that we were somehow got caught into what was the internal politics of India at that time. towards the end of his second term. And whatever he's left behind is being remembered today. Because what he left behind was the foundations of a very strong India. He always used to say that. And those foundations are based on the policies he followed, the policies he helped initiate as a finance minister in 1991, as a prime minister from 2004 to 2014. Many people forget, and there's so much commentary about it globally, but we have not understood the importance yet of how he saved India's economy during the 2008-2009 financial crisis. I discussed that once with him in detail, that how he was able to do that. And after that, if you remembered in a G20 summit, Barack Obama came up to him and he said in the meeting that he's our guru when it comes to the economy and how to handle the economy, the global economy. And he talked about it, I'm sorry, it's a very emotional thing for me to see this, because this is the last time that I
yeah,
be.
I can understand that. I know, I can kind of understand that. It's
So he explained that, the power of India's economy, the power of India's future lies with the poor people. And at that time, it was a decision which was criticized, that he decided to waive off loans worth 60,000 crore for the farmers. I said, what was that strategy? He said, in India, if we put money in the hands of poor people, they go and buy things which are within the economy. So whatever we are giving them, this loan waiver, they'll go and they'll buy their day-to-day stuff, and they'll buy food grains, they'll buy their motorcycles, they'll buy their cycles, and that money will get back into the economy. So this is the foresight he had. And sure enough, in 2009, when the global economy was in total turmoil, India was unaffected. And actually in 2010, India had surpassed China in terms of GDP growth. This is the first time, and I think the last time in the history, that India had, in a normal circumstances, exceeded 10% growth for a quarter. And we discussed that. And his entire economic and political philosophy was seeped into that how can we help the poor people, and the poor people will help the country. And that is what the people like Angela Merkel said, that his major decision was to help poor people of India. With just, I was going through all the statements being made by global leaders. In our country, if you see, the kind of outpouring of mourning, of support, of homages to him is unthinkable. And by the way, this is not generated. This is not a party trying to, trump up support for its leader. It's not that. It's very genuine. It's a very genuine thing. And my thoughts, Pallavi, also go out to the family who I've seen and worked with very close quarters, that they must be feeling slightly vindicated, and that all the criticism he faced and they faced, it's very difficult to face criticism for your father, for your husband, for your relative, and not say anything against it. They've never spoken about that. And even when I used to go and tell them that I'll go and I'll contradict this and I'll do that, they said, no, it's better not to do that. And the dignity, with the kind of dignity they have seen, with the kind of dignity with which they have conducted themselves under a fusillade of false charges, as we know now, the 2G scam, the coal scam, all that, and
And,
not.
and Pankaj, that point of yours, and I can understand your emotion because you were doing your job when you wanted to firefight for them. But for someone who's not into the grassroots or politics totally from the beginning, for someone who transitioned into politics, it must be really hurtful in the beginning to hear the kind of hate and the kind of words he was facing. I mean, there were deep personal attacks on him. And I can see people teary-eyed inside Nigambodh Ghat even as we speak.
Yes, absolutely. And that is because, that now there's a realization in the country that we have not done good. We have not behaved properly. There's a regret in the country today that we have not given Manmohan Singh his due, and that due is now this spontaneous mourning which we are seeing is a result of that. That we realize now that here was someone who was vilified unnecessarily, and in his death, he's proved his critics wrong, and he's proved his own integrity and his commitment to this country. I was going through his last speech, which we all sat down, and he used to write his own speeches. And the last speech is very clearly written, and I have it somewhere here. I'll just read it out. And it's absolutely heartbreaking, that part when he said that I was a poor person, and this country, whatever I am, is due to my country. And I was a poor person, and I came from a faraway land, a refugee and an orphan, and whatever has been given to me is by my beloved country. These were his last. Despite so much opposition, despite so many allegations, charges, he did not lose the sight of that what it all meant for him. It meant for him that the country had given him the highest respect. And even at that time, he remembered that he owed this to his country, which had him. And this is absolutely amazing. Someone, in the world, that how a person who on his own can rise from poverty, get the best of the educations in global institutions, then he can work with the best of the brains within the country, outside the country, in his various appointments at the IMF, the South Commission, and this opportunity, he said, which has been given to me, is the hallmark of the greatness of India. That anyone can rise in this country and anyone can contribute to this country. And he used to say it very clearly when we used to talk about economy and business. And the business and the economy at that point of time was taking a hit. I remember in 2012 and 2013. And he used to say that all we have to do is to empower our people. He said entrepreneurship in India is seeped. If we give opportunity to our people, they will deliver. And to the end, he kept working on that. Even after he demitted office, I met him a number of times, and I'll just tell you one thing, that this is how the greatness and the humility of the man was. That I used to go and meet him, and he said, "You must come and meet me every 1 or 2 months." Then he said, "Okay, every 3 months, every quarter." So I used to go and meet him and used to talk to him. And one day he said, "You are not my former colleague, you are my friend." So I told him, "I can't be your friend, I'm your chela." And then he could not understand the word chela, so I had to explain to him what chela means. I said, "You are my guru, and I'll be your student all this while." And this is the way, he used to deal with the people. And this is the way he used to deal with the country, that everyone should be given an opportunity. And if you see today, it's very clear that the fruits of all those policies are before us. You take Aadhaar, you take Food Security Act, you take Manrega. The government in last 10 years has bolstered, has strengthened all these policies which were implemented during this time. And that means the policies were right. And no government in India can do without those policies. And if you look at the only regret I think he had towards the after demitting office was that he had to face a lot of unsubstantiated allegations and charges, which have mostly have been proved wrong, and that's what the country is realizing today. Looking at the newspapers, the kind of people who used to be his bitterest critics. I mean, Akali Dal leader Sukhbir Badal has written today about that he should be given a monument, and he also lists his contribution to the country. Anna Hazare, who held a mass protest against him, says that he was an uncorruptible person, and Mr. Kejriwal was there, and he was also saying the same thing. So this, I wish that he was there today, and if he had listened to these people, there would be some shanti, some peace for him that he had been proved, right?
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand what you're going through. Thank you very much, Pankaj, for speaking to us. And even as we speak, the convoy of the Prime Minister of India seems to have reached the Nigambodh Ghat. It's a full state honour funeral which is being given to the 14th Prime Minister of our country. The Prime Minister Modi was also one of the first ones to reach his residence at Motilal Nehru Marg yesterday to pay his tribute, and after that he spoke in glowing terms about his predecessor. State honours full. The Home Minister Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister have already been here since morning. The countdown begins any time now. The final rites will take place. We can see the Prime Minister's cavalcade has reached Nigambodh Ghat. After this, the Vice President, the President of India, as per protocol, will reach, and it's only after that the final rites will take place. The family is here. The Chiefs of Navy, Air Force, Armies to lay the wreath at the Nigambodh Ghat. The Prime Minister Modi, in his tribute, has spoken about the fact that he has contributed immensely to the economy of the country. The edifice of his government was also in a sense laid by Dr. Manmohan Singh, and he would be missed, and his contribution to the country can never ever be forgotten. And also the fact that he comes in from a humble origin. No family, no holidays he would take, no family into politics. Dr. Manmohan Singh leaves behind a rich legacy in the field of economics, of course, as India's finance minister from 1991 to 1996. Siddhant is there reporting from the spot. Siddhant, can you just take us through the pictures, because we are running a little late as per schedule.
Can you hear me?
I guess, yes, I can hear you. Yes, Siddhant, go ahead.
Yeah, Pallavi, can you hear me?
Please go ahead, Siddhant, I can hear you.
Yeah, yes. So Pallavi, Prime Minister Modi has arrived. In fact, right after him, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar has arrived. In fact, both of them have gone inside the Nigambodh Ghat. Now the wait is going on for Droupadi Murmu, after which the state funeral of Dr. Manmohan Singh will commence. In fact, all his relatives, family members, the senior Congress leadership have gone inside. I've also seen KCR going inside, then the other senior Congress party leadership and also the colleagues of Dr. Singh during UPA 1 and UPA 2. They all have come here to pay last respect, and the security has been beefed up in and around Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, this particular road where I am reporting from has completely been cordoned off, as Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu will be arriving in some time from now. There is a release from Ministry of Defence that there's a release from Ministry of Defence in the line of protocol. All the dignitaries will pay tributes to Dr.
Siddhant,
Manmohan Singh.
I'm sorry to interrupt you here. I'm sorry to interrupt you here. They are those first pictures of the Prime Minister arriving at the spot. That's at the Nigambodh Ghat. Anytime now, he's going to. The wreath is being laid. You can see the Union Cabinet over there. I can see the Home Minister Amit Shah. There is the Prime Minister meeting and greeting the other dignitaries. There's of course the Defence Minister, then there's the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, there is of course the Prime Minister, and there on the screens you can see Sonia Gandhi paying her last tribute to the man she completely backed. The entire Congress party was there in full swing, and you can see that this is going as per the military protocol. The full state honours, 7 days of mourning has been announced by the government, no official function, and in fact the government has also committed to the Congress party's demand that at an appropriate time a trust would be set up and a samadhi would be built in honour of Dr. Manmohan Singh. The Prime Minister right there at the front. He's standing up now to greet the Vice President, Jagdeep Dhankar. Anytime now, the President of India, Droupadi Murmu, is also going to be arriving. In fact, they had also, and she had paid her tribute to Dr. Manmohan Singh at his residence in Motilal Nehru Marg yesterday. As per protocol, the seating has been made. You're going to be seeing the Congress President, Rahul Gandhi, and all the ministers sitting there. Siddhant, if you're still with us, I'm sorry to have interrupted you, but please go ahead. Right on the screens, we can see the pictures of the Prime Minister come to pay his last respect.
King of Bhutan has just arrived. In fact, along with the King of Bhutan, we could also expect the Foreign Minister of Mauritius to be coming soon, and both of these leaders will take part in the final rites of Dr. Manmohan Singh. In fact, the King of Bhutan has just arrived. Prime Minister Modi and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar both are already inside. In fact, we are also getting visuals from inside the Nigambodh Ghat. Now we can put that out for our viewers that the King of Bhutan has especially travelled from Bhutan to India to pay last respects to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And Foreign Minister of Mauritius has been deputed by the government of Mauritius to come to Delhi to pay respect to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So King of Bhutan has already arrived. We could expect the Foreign Minister of Mauritius to come anytime soon. But before that, Pallavi, Droupadi Murmu, the President, Rashtrapati, is going to come in few minutes from now. In fact, the preparations are underway for her arrivals, and we could put the shots of her of the convoy of Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu in some time from now, and after which the state funeral, full state funeral will commence. So as we were discussing before also, Pallavi, the contributions of Dr. Manmohan Singh in foreign policy domain, especially Indian neighborhood, when it comes to Indian neighborhood, then he has always given priority to the neighbors. When it comes to assisting Nepal in conducting elections, the same was the case with Bhutan and Maldives. And this is a reason that neighbors are today missing Dr. Manmohan Singh and perhaps remembering his contribution in strengthening ties with India. And in time from now, Pallavi, we could expect. We could see the arrival of the convoy of Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu. And as we were discussing before, there's a protocol according to which the Ministry of Defence had put up a release, and according to that list only, the homage will be given to Dr. Manmohan Singh, starting from Home Secretary and ending with Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu. It's a full state honour, military honours, which will be according to Dr. Manmohan Singh. And in fact, the family and the relatives of Dr. Manmohan Singh, even those relatives who were living abroad, have also flown down to New Delhi to take part in the final rites. So in some time from now, we would get the visuals of Droupadi Murmu, Rashtrapati, at the Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, the final preparations are right now underway. Home Minister Amit Shah, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they all are already at the Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, the government, Pallavi, has also have cancelled yesterday, if you remember, the scheduled program of Prime Minister Modi because of the demise of
Okay, I'm going to just try and go back
several
to
events have been cancelled.
Yes, go ahead, Siddhant.
Yes, today also several events have been cancelled. But Prime Minister's rally has also got postponed. So, this is perhaps one moment, Pallavi, where across party line, across ideologies, affiliations, people are coming to Nigambodh Ghat or wherever they are remembering Dr. Singh for his contribution to the Indian economy, to the foreign policy, and perhaps, the policies that he framed during his tenure as the finance minister, as the secretary in the government, as the RBI governor, then as the prime minister, has perhaps impacted each one of our lives. And this is the reason that today, as you were also saying, that I could see many teary eyes at Nigambodh Ghat. Many are Congress party workers, but then there are many those who are not affiliated or associated with the Congress party. They have come, to pay tributes to Manmohan Singh, because, as I said, the 10 years is a long and the kind of reforms he brought during that tenure, and it has impacted each one of our lives, from the liberalization in 91, civil nuclear deal, RTI, the reforms in education sector, healthcare, Aadhaar. There are lists of things that have been started by him in all the domains, and this is a reason that today country is remembering him. And in fact, the government of India, as we were talking earlier also, that yesterday also there were some events which were cancelled, the party level, the BJP party level, and today also even Prime Minister rally has also got postponed. So it shows that even across party lines, the leaders do acknowledge Dr. Singh's contribution for the country. So it's a day of mourning, not just for India but the whole world. Even the King of Bhutan has especially travelled to homage Dr. Manmohan Singh. The Foreign Minister of Mauritius has come. In fact, the Indian missions abroad have opened condolence books, Pallavi. And, since yesterday, many state heads and, the foreign ministers and the other dignitaries have gone to Indian missions to pay tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So that is the level of his popularity, his personal connect with the world leaders, from Joe Biden to Justin Trudeau to Mohammed Yunus in Bangladesh. This strained tie between India and Bangladesh, Mohammed Yunus, and with the condolences of Dr. Manmohan.
Okay, I'm going to try and reconnect with Siddhant. I mean, obviously, there are going to be jammers there, and what he has been reporting is that the Foreign Minister of Mauritius, the King of Bhutan, I mean, imagine the mark of Dr. Manmohan Singh, which touched upon not just Indian politics but global diplomacy as well. And apart from the rich tributes that they have been receiving, we also have many foreign dignitaries here. You can see those pictures on your screen when the Prime Minister had reached a short while back, and he had given his tribute to his predecessor. Apart from that, of course, is Dr. Manmohan Singh's family. You also have the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. You have the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the Speaker, the Vice President, and anytime now we can expect the President of India, Droupadi Murmu, also to arrive. So these are the pictures. Siddhant, if you can hear me, the King of Bhutan coming, the Foreign Minister of Mauritius coming, and the kind of rich tributes coming in from the foreign dignitaries and the world leaders, that itself shows that, he's not just an economist. I mean, when it comes to diplomacy, I mean, his stature really worked as far as our diplomacy is concerned. Can you just share with our viewers what his diplomacy was all about? Siddhant, if you can hear me. Okay, we're going to try and reconnect with Siddhant, but I'm just showing you the pictures. This is the Vice President, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, paying his tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. Anytime now, we can see the final rites. I think the wait is going on for the President of India, Droupadi Murmu, who should be arriving anytime now. The Prime Minister has already reached at the Nigambodh Ghat. So has the Defence and the Home Minister, the Speaker, the Lieutenant Governor. All of them have seated at the front. We are waiting to see when Droupadi Murmu also. Okay, Siddhant is back with us. Siddhant, I was talking about the fact that when the King of Bhutan, the Foreign Minister of Mauritius, all of them arrive over here, you know, it's also an acknowledgement of not just economist, Prime Minister, but also someone who knew what world diplomacy and his stature abroad is all about.
Well, that's right, Pallavi. First of all, we can put that out for our viewers that Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu has arrived at Nigambodh Ghat. In fact, her convoy has just got inside the compound of Nigambodh Ghat, and before her, it was King of Bhutan who came to Nigambodh Ghat to pay homage to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And as you rightly said, Pallavi, in fact, the Indian missions abroad have also opened the condolence books. And in fact, since yesterday, there are many heads of states, governments, dignitaries, those who are going to Indian missions to pay homage to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So it's a very, very, it shows the character, the personality, and the contribution of a person, somebody like Dr. Manmohan Singh, who has a very long career of serving people of India as a bureaucrat, as a finance minister, RBI governor, then Prime Minister, and also his relationship with the other world leaders, from the renowned economists all across the world, from them to the heads of state. In fact, when India is
Siddhant, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was telling our viewers, I can see those pictures of the President of India, Droupadi Murmu. She's also arrived. She's going to be the last dignitary to arrive as per protocol. And after that, I think we can see the beginning of the religious rites and the cremation. So she's going to come and pay her tributes. There you can see the Prime Minister, Defence Minister, Home Minister. Sonia Gandhi also paid her tributes. Those are the pictures. Yes, Siddhant, go ahead.
Yes, everyone is sending condolence message for the family and for the people of India. In fact, as I said, that the condolence books have been opened across Indian missions worldwide. So the heads of states, the foreign ministers, the other dignitaries are going to Indian missions to pay homage to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So he was well acknowledged and a person of a great repute. As far as the foreign policy fraternity, the economy fraternity is concerned, and it's a great loss for them as well. And this is the reason that since yesterday the messages are pouring in, the condolence messages are pouring in, and the King of Bhutan has especially travelled to India to pay last respect to Dr. Manmohan Singh. Then Mauritius has deputed Foreign Minister to come to New Delhi and take part in his final journey. So it says a lot about the contributions he has made. In fact, Pallavi, I did manage to speak to former Foreign Minister of Mauritius and Maldives yesterday. In fact, both of them were remembering the times when Manmohan Singh visited these two countries and the contributions he made to improve the financial position of these two countries, perhaps helping them with assistance, always making sure that his government is available to hear out their concerns, and in fact it was an emotional moment for them as well. So this is what Dr. Manmohan Singh has achieved, and today when he is no more, the world is remembering him, his work, and he has touched upon many lives, each one of our lives in one or the other way. He has impacted our lives, and this is the reason that today I see sea of people outside Nigambodh Ghat, Pallavi, and for the cops it's getting difficult for them to handle the crowd, given there is VIP movement also at Nigambodh Ghat. But you know, it's getting difficult for the COP because these people are not only the Congress Party karyakartas or workers, or any kind of a whip was issued by Congress Party for all the workers to come to Delhi to join the Dr. Manmohan Singh in the last journey. These people have come willingly because their lives have also been impacted. They are the beneficiaries of the liberalization. They are the beneficiaries of the market getting opened. They you know now the education level, the medical healthcare sector all have improved.
Well, just a countdown to the last ceremony or the rites are beginning. We have seen everyone turned up, of course everyone from the Congress Party, the Prime Minister, the President of India, Droupadi Murmu, the Vice President, the Lieutenant Governor, all the three service chiefs, and of course there is the King of Bhutan, the Foreign Minister of Mauritius.
तो अंतिम सफर पर निकल पड़े हैं डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह और उन्हें गार्ड ऑफ ऑनर दिया गया। आप देख सकते हैं कि राष्ट्रपति भी निगमबोध घाट पर मौजूद हैं, जहां उन्होंने श्रद्धा सुमन भावपूर्ण तरीके से अर्पित किए।
So we can see the service chiefs, all of them are there. There is of course the BJP President JP Nadda. You can see the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. You can see the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, and of course much before that the Prime Minister. Then there's a Speaker, the President and the Vice President of India. There's of course on the same row seated the Congress President Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, the family of Dr. Manmohan Singh. I can see on your screens Gursharan Kaur, all the three daughters, all his other relatives, all of them have come. As per protocol, what is happening now is the folding of the tricolour. That's also the tricolour which had draped him yesterday when his mortal remains were taken out from AIIMS. He had expired day before late in the night, according to NAME's bulletin, at 9:52 p.m. His body was then brought to his residence for years after he demitted office in 2014, Motilal Nehru Marg, and he was draped in a tricolour in honour of the former Prime Minister of India. And then, of course, the government had announced state honours. What we are now seeing on the screens is the procedure which is followed. Before the religious rites and the funeral begins, the tricolour which is draped is folded and the service chiefs carry it with them. But that's also a mark of honour which is given when a state funeral is accorded to any dignitary. In this case, of course, he was the Prime Minister of India from 2004 to 2014, the 14th Prime Minister of India, the first Sikh Prime Minister. He was a Finance Minister from 1991 to 1996 in the PV Narasimha Rao government. And after that, he became the Sonia Gandhi's choice, rather the UPA's Prime Minister from 2004. And he left office in 2014. He was a predecessor of the present Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also among those who was the first one to come to pay his tributes to him. He also penned and spoke about a very emotive tribute to his predecessor, calling him someone who was from the humble origin and who had contributed immensely to the economy of the country and the policies. Well, we are just looking at the countdown to begin, and you can now see him being surrounded by the service chiefs. Or on the front row seated is the President of India, Vice President, Lieutenant Governor. There's of course the Prime Minister. You can see, for example, the King of Bhutan, of course, who's come, and the Prime Minister is here. And then you can see the Foreign Minister of Mauritius, which is also an acknowledgement of not just in India but also globally the kind of the respect he commanded. When we look at him, we talk mostly the focus is on his economics, but his political stamp is also there. There on your screens, you can of course see the Delhi Chief Minister Adieu is also there. We can, on the front row is of course Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Kharge. Right behind them, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, was sitting on that cavalcade truck which accompanied his mortal remains from his residence to his final resting place. The government has also assured that there will be a trust set up and a samadhi in his commemoration. Well, the procedure has begun of the final rites. His mortal remains are being taken out of that coffin after the tricolour which draped him was unfolded and then of course folded. That's the way it is done as far as the state funeral is concerned. And seating over there are of course the Prime Minister, the cabinet ministers, and right behind them are in the second row you can see the Siddaramaiah, you can see the Telangana Chief Minister Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, you can see the Delhi Chief Minister Atishe Marlena. Well, today on a day like today, it befits the man who seems to have breached all kind of differences, political differences, ideological differences. And he was known, I mean, the people who have been speaking to over the last 2 days, all have been speaking about the fact that he ran a coalition government, but he also knew how to run it well, because one thing which UPA 1 and UPA 2 was, of course, that it had completed its terms. And that is also believed to be as much Sonia Gandhi's maneuvering as that of Dr. Manmohan Singh. In fact, many of his allies would say that it is difficult to say no to him, and that perhaps was what worked for Dr. Manmohan Singh and his government. So you can see the tricolour which has been folded on the front row. The Prime Minister, the President of India, Droupadi Murmu, the Vice President, all of them actually paid their tributes the moment they arrived at Nigambodh Ghat. Well, anytime now, I think the religious rites will begin. There's Rahul Gandhi, who is standing there right next to Gushan Kaur, which must also be a very painful and a moment for her. She's always been seen by his side ever since he became the Prime Minister, and as he would tell us publicly, that his pillar of strength. But one thing which always marks Dr. Manmohan Singh is determination to keep his family away. His 3 daughters and his wife would be seen, of course, on public occasions, official functions, but they never entered politics, nor did they come out with any political point of view. You can see Rahul Gandhi paying his tributes in a rather emotive moment. In fact, he was the one who walked along the cavalcade. He was seated on that truck, and he had also gone to his residence early this morning, accompanying the mortal remains of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Well, I think the mortal remains of Dr. Manmohan Singh have been taken out of that coffin. He is going to be laid to rest, final rest, anytime now. This is the procedure actually when that state mourning or state protocol or full honours, military honours, all the 3 service chiefs were there, the Home Secretary there. There you can see next to his mortal remains Rahul Gandhi now standing. You can also see, I guess, the family members, the close family members of Dr. Manmohan Singh. On the front row is the Prime Minister of India, the President, the Vice President, Gushan Kaur, and of course Sonia Gandhi. Just trying to get a sense of the other leaders. These are those final moments. We are going to stay with those pictures. And well, yeah, so what happens is in a state mourning, he was draped with the tricolour yesterday also when people were coming into let me just go across to my colleague Siddhant, because he's right there at the Nigambodh Ghat. Siddhant, this is an emotive moment, because you know what is really standing apart is the point that whatever political, ideological differences one may have had, all of that is not being seen there. It's sinking their differences, and that is the greatest tribute to Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Well, that's right. In fact, people from various walks of life, different political party ideologies, they all have come today to pay tribute to Dr. Manmohan Singh. And, you were mentioning, Pallavi, that how King of Bhutan has especially traveled to India to join Dr. Manmohan Singh in his last journey. Then Mauritius has sent the Foreign Minister. Even the global fraternity, the way they acknowledge, not just acknowledge, but appreciate the contribution of Dr. Manmohan Singh. During the Euro crisis, Pallavi, in 2013, Angela Merkel called up Dr. Manmohan Singh for an advice, if you remember, before the Euro zone meeting. Then, President Obama, very famously said that when Prime Minister Singh speaks, listen to him. And in 2007, when this entire idea of Quad was proposed by Shinzo Abe, at that time, in fact, later, it was reported that Shinzo Abe used to consider Prime Minister Manmohan Singh as his mentor, as his guru. So, that was the respect that he earned, not just in his own country, but, the world leaders also acknowledge and appreciate his contributions and used to take his advice on various issues. So that is what Dr. Manmohan Singh was all about. And so this is the reason that today people from various walks of life, different political parties, ideologies, all have come to Nigambodh Ghat, despite a lot of traffic in central Delhi area today, Pallavi, given VIP movement on this particular patch. People are coming, and all these people are not the Congress karyakartas. In some or the other way, their lives have been impacted by the decisions that Dr. Manmohan Singh took during his entire lifetime as the RBI governor, finance minister, then later prime minister. And this is the reason, these people are thankful to him. They are here full of gratitude, and they all have teary eyes today because, they remember the contributions he made and the way he ran the country successfully for 10 years, bringing reforms which have impacted our lives, changing the entire economy of India forever. Those were even when you look back, Pallavi, those were the very, very emotional times for India when 47 tons of gold was pledged, because our forex reserve got shrunk. And it was Dr. Manmohan Singh and his reforms which got the gold back to the country. So, when we were kids, this was the story which was told to us by our parents and grandparents. So, that is the connect that especially the people from my generation have with Dr. Manmohan Singh, because he was always his full-time prime minister, going to school library and reading about his policies, his reforms every day during the school time. So, even the new generation, the Gen Zs and the millennials, they also, read about him and know about his reforms, his policies. Generations will remember his contribution, especially, take the example of US-India civil nuclear deal. Whatever today is happening in US-India strategic partnership, it's all happening because of that one deal, because, it has opened the gates for the both countries to come even closer. And today, India and US are partnering in cutting-edge technologies, AI, quantum computing, etc., etc. So it is all possible only because the civil nuclear deal was signed during Dr. Singh's tenure, and he had gone on to put his government on stake to get that clear in the House. So that was his dedication, that was his vision for the India, and he was always a believer in the nuclear energy, and he always had said that the new energy is the requirement of India, and to fulfill that, India needs to be considered as a reputed and a secured nuclear power in the world, and perhaps that one deal has made India more credible nuclear power in the world, and because of which now India can share the nuclear technology. India can buy civil nuclear technology.
I'm just going to interrupt you here, Siddhant. I'm going to interrupt you here, Siddhant. The mortal remains of Dr. Manmohan Singh, of course, has been taken out of the coffin and it's being carried now to the final resting spot. And carrying his pyre is, of course, I think many of his own relatives. I can also see Rahul Gandhi over there. Yes, Siddhant, carry on.
Yes, so I was talking about civil nuclear deal, Pallavi. Even if today India buys sophisticated nuclear technology from the other countries, it's all possible because of that. And Manmohan Singh always had this vision of for the nuclear energy in India, and he was always in favor of non-proliferation, and he always believed that the nuclear energy could meet the requirement of the modern India, and that was one reason that he had put his entire government on stake to get the bill passed. And today, whatever is happening in with United States, India-US strategic partnership, cutting edge technology, the tech is being transferred, jet engines are coming, the technology is being given to it. It's all possible only because that deal was signed at that point in time. So at that point in time, there were a lot of confusion and the rumor mongering around that one particular deal. But today, the country is being benefited because of that. So just one example, Pallavi, you have covered him, his government, and you know that how the reforms he brought have changed each one of our lives, have impacted each one of our lives, has touched the lives of the common man. Manrega, now also, even during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's regime, it is being continued, and even with each year, the funds allocation have also gone up. So employment, education, healthcare, he was truly a visionary, and he believed in his work. And he delivered, and this is the reason that today, when I'm standing outside Nigambodh Ghat, I could see sea of people, waiting to catch a glimpse of Dr. Manmohan Singh's mortal remains. So it is only possible because of, I could see many diplomats out at the Nigambodh Ghat. I could see the Deputy High Commissioner of Australia. I also saw the Palestinian envoy getting inside. I saw the representation from Canada. Despite strained ties with India, Canada has sent a representative. Bangladesh had come up with a condolence message for Dr. Singh. So it is only because he was a person of great repute and the contributions he has made, which has changed the lives of people. In fact, I would also like viewers to know that when Prime Minister Manmohan Singh met Prime Minister of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai, at that point in time, country had just come out of the Taliban regime and the government was formed. And at that point in time, Hamid Karzai said it. That it was Manmohan Singh who told him that move step by step. Nations are not built in a day. Focus on the institutions that needs to be established. So that was the advice which Manmohan Singh gave to then leader of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai. That nations are not built in the day. So that was his vision, and because of which he is so special, not just for India but for the whole world.
Give us some more details. I'm just running through some of the pictures which we are seeing over here. We can see the mortal remains finally on the pyre. We can see the priests, of course, there, and it will be done according to his religious rites. Remember, he was the first Sikh Prime Minister of India, and accompanying, you can, around the funeral pyre, we can see, I think that's his family's there. And okay, let me just go across to Mr. Manishankar Iyer, Congress leader, who's now joining us. Somber moment, Mr. Iyer, but if you could just take us through, because you obviously have worked very, very closely with him, as with Sonia Gandhi. So you're privy to, what he thought about, what he felt about, as we are looking at that solemn occasion of the final rites for Dr. Manmohan Singh. What are the many stamps actually he's leaving behind?
Of course, the world and India remember Dr. Manmohan Singh most for the economic reforms that he undertook and for his personality, which was gentle, very attractive, and yet extremely persuasive. But what I remember him most for is his attitude towards Pakistan. I think the most constructive contribution that any prime minister made to bringing about a kind of equilibrium in India-Pakistan relations was Dr. Manmohan Singh. Between him and President Musharraf, they agreed to set up a back channel on which Ambassador Sati Lamba of India and Tariq Aziz of Pakistan spent about 3 years working specifically on the question of Kashmir. And the conclusion they came to, which was regularly supervised by President Musharraf and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, was that there should be no exchange of territory and no exchange of population. But the LOC, the line of control, should be made irrelevant by encouraging Kashmiris on both sides of the line of control to cross over to the other side with no let or hindrance, so that family connections, people-to-people contacts, cultural functions, religious intercourse could easily take place. And at the same time, the trade barriers, at least as far as the two halves of Kashmir are concerned, would be removed, enabling the exchange of goods between the two sides. It was further agreed, although the wording was not finalized, that there would be some kind of mechanism, a cooperative mechanism, that would enable the two sides to ensure, or try to ensure, that the level of economic prosperity and, more importantly, of democratic liberties were approximately the same on both sides of the line of control. And this agreement was to be signed by Dr. Manmohan Singh with President Musharraf at the end of March 2007. Unfortunately, President Musharraf got into difficulty with his judiciary at the beginning of that month. The result was that the visit did not take place. So if destiny had only intervened to have him go to Pakistan a month earlier than he had planned, there would have been an India-Pakistan agreement on Kashmir. And that would have opened the path to a normalized relationship between the two countries. And I think this great initiative on the part of Dr. Manmohan Singh is being underplayed in the comments that we are hearing, the very favorable comments we are hearing on Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's premiership.
And Mr. Iyer, you all talk a lot about the diplomacy, we talk a lot about economics, but do you think it would be appropriate also to talk about the kind of political legacy he leaves behind? After all, running a multi-party coalition like UPA 1 and UPA 2 with various tugs and pressures mustn't have been easy.
Well, the principal credit for running that coalition must go to Sonia Gandhi, who acted like a magnet, attracting the iron shavings of different political regional parties. But nevertheless, it was Dr. Manmohan Singh who presided over the government and succeeded in keeping almost everybody on his side, except the left, which left him when he was trying to promote the India-US nuclear deal. But very quickly, Dr. Manmohan Singh brought in the Samajwadi Party, which had earlier been excluded from the UPA, and it was his initiative in bringing around Mulayam Singh Yadav and Amar Singh that resulted in the longevity of that government. It's a great shame that he fell ill in 2012, and that affected his leadership of the government. But overall, when one looks at his 10 years as Prime Minister, it stands out as a glorious chapter in India's political history.
Well, the movement has just started. The funeral, the religious rites and the prayers and the mantras are being read, and these are the last few moments before the final journey, and Dr. Manmohan Singh is going to be laid to rest. Mr. Iyer, I'm just going to come back and ask you one last question before I let you go. we've spoken about his diplomacy, but the penning or the tribute given by Barack Obama when he left office in 2014, would you say that was really, really rare? Because where do you see that kind of a friendship when you have the change of power taking place?
I haven't followed your question. Could you please
Mr.
ask
Iyer,
the question
I'm just
alone?
Mr. Iyer, I'm just going back to a time of 2014. Then President of America, Barack Obama, had penned a very beautiful letter and written about Dr. Manmohan Singh. Would you say that is also among the many tributes he got then also? Because, very few people write like that for an outgoing Prime Minister.
Dr. Barack Obama is a master of words, and therefore he was able to sum up in a few words the major characteristics and contribution of Dr. Manmohan Singh. We should therefore celebrate what Barack Obama had to say about Dr. Manmohan Singh, but I think we should celebrate even more what all shades of Indian opinion are now saying about him as he is taken to his final destination.
And also stands vindicated.
Sorry?
He also stands vindicated on many points, because I can see people cutting across party lines here, party workers, the common man people coming in from far away. That is the mark of his integrity and the point he wanted to prove, that people will judge me, history will judge me fairly.
But in 2012-13, that is the final years of his premiership, the very same people who are today cutting across party lines were being extremely partisan. And so it led to Dr. Manmohan Singh in his final press conference saying that he was certain that history would judge him more favorably than the media or the opposition at that time. And I think the tributes that are now pouring in have vindicated that view expressed by Dr. Manmohan Singh.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Manishankar Iyer, for speaking to us. We are staying with these pictures, which let's listen in. Okay, you can hear those religious chants being made. People from all religions, representatives from all religion are very much here. Surrounding his mortal remains are, of course, his wife, Gulsharan Kaur, members of his family. Very rare to see them, because one thing he was very fixed about is that the family should not be involved. Well, we are now touching down to the last final moments where I think, what is being draped on him are being slowly removed. Earlier today, we saw his last journey from his residence of many years since 2014. And since 2014, where he has been staying as a Motilal Nehru Marg.
इनके योगदान को हमेशा हमेशा याद किया जाएगा। लगातार हमने देखा है कि जो फैसले और जो नीतियां इन्होंने बनाई, उससे आने वाले समय की
Okay, so we are seeing those religious chants, and now, as I said, I mean, his family, I can see his wife, Gulsharan Kaur, and his immediate family, his daughters. See, one thing he was very particular about is that while he was in public life, he did not want people from his family to be ever put forward. His wife was the only one who used to be seen publicly, but that only at official events. Daughters were rarely to be seen. None of them were, of course, in politics. None of them were encouraged. Also, you can see the Prime Minister of India paying his tribute. Then there is, of course, President Droupadi Murmu, the Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, and of course 2 special dignitaries who flew down just to be on this occasion, the King of Bhutan as well as the Foreign Minister of Mauritius. Touching down to the last few moments of the religious rites which are taking place and the funeral. It was a short journey which took place from the Congress headquarters to the Nigambodh Ghat, and accompanying him, of course, was everyone from the party. Sonia Gandhi also was one of the first ones to pay tribute to him at the Nigambodh Ghat. Rahul Gandhi accompanied the truck, the cavalcade. In fact, sitting on it, we can see Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, the Congress chief ministers, the Congress president, the Delhi chief minister Atishi Marlina, and let me go back to my colleague. You know, Siddhant, we are now counting down to that final moment. Yes, Siddhant, if you can hear me.
Well, that's right, Pallavi. So we could expect the dignitaries to leave in some time from now. And in fact, the convoys are getting ready outside Nigambodh Ghat. And as we were discussing about the legacy of Dr. Manmohan Singh and why he's so special for each one of us. In fact, Pallavi, I would also like to, highlight what the other day Prithviraj Chauhan told some of the journalists here in New Delhi, that, when the BMWs arrived in Prime Minister's convoy when Prime Minister Manmohan Singh took oath as the Prime Minister of the country. And he was reluctant to accept BMWs in his convoy because he always had this fear that what the world will think about him, what the people will talk about him. At the time he came, he got BMWs in the convoy, which was already proposed and was accepted due to the security concern. So, he was somebody who was always careful about his image, and he never wanted any wrong message to go out to the people of the country. And in fact, at that time, it was Prithviraj Chauhan and the other leaders who, requested Prime Minister Manmohan Singh at that time to accept BMWs because of the security threat, etc. So, this was Manmohan Singh, the leader that today we all are remembering. And in fact, I could see Pallavi, Shashi Tharoor and other senior leaders are walking out of Nigambodh Ghat. And we could expect in some time from now the other dignitaries also to leave because the convoys are getting ready to leave. So today is a very sad day for the entire country, for the entire world, as India's leader Manmohan Singh is no more, and even the world is also remembering Manmohan Singh today.
Absolutely. And in fact, we are seeing those final moments. I guess we can see the Prime Minister right there, of course, with his 2 union cabinet colleagues and the President of India. So the entire dignitaries are here. Well, looking at those final pictures of him being laid to rest, you can see Gursharan Kaur, his wife, of his companion for many, many years, and it must be really a tough moment for her today. Also equally emotive seems to be Sonia Gandhi, her companion again for 10 years when the UPA was running, and as Mr. Iyer was saying, they were the fevicol which actually ensured that political stability was taking place, Siddhant. But the presence of the King of Bhutan, the presence of the Foreign Minister of Mauritius, you also saw you interviewed the Palestinian envoy. I mean, everyone talks about his economy, but his diplomacy must have been first class, and that is why the reason is that everyone wants to be there today in paying their rich tributes or personally.
Yes, absolutely, Pallavi. And again, I would like to give one example. So in 2004, when the entire region was coming out of the aftermath of the devastation that tsunami caused. At that time, Pallavi, under the Prime Ministership of Manmohan Singh, it was decided that India is going to enhance its capacity to deal with the devastation and destruction caused by earthquakes and tsunamis, etc. And in fact, since then, Pallavi, India has been not just doing things domestically, but have been sending teams abroad also. Assistance abroad in such times. So that was the policy which was framed and which got inducted into Indian foreign policy during the Prime Ministership of Manmohan Singh. Because then, today, if India calls itself net security provider in the Indian Ocean, then it all started after 2004 tsunami, when India realized that how much India's neighbors need India in such times. Not just monetary assistance, but sending boats, sending relief teams for the rescue work. And since then, Pallavi, you see, whether it's Nepal, whether it's Sri Lanka, whether it's Turkey, very recently, India had sent teams for the relief and rescue works. So it was started, it was planned, incepted during Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's times after 2004 tsunami that has hit the region. So, that level of visionary he was, because at that time he understood that India's neighborhood is not so well equipped, well prepared. They don't have well prepared forces, relief teams for the rescue and relief work. So, if India could help these countries in such times, in cyclones and tsunamis and earthquakes, then that could build a very good reputation and credibility for India, and perhaps India could boost ties with those countries. And today, Pallavi, after 20 years, we are in 2024, that has got this particular decision of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh at that time has got a lot of credibility to India.
I think we're looking at those final moments now, Siddhant. I mean, on the front row, you can clearly see a Prime Minister who seems to be extremely moved. He also played a glowing tribute to Dr. Manmohan Singh. Grim-faced Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, of course, very much by the side. You can see the Congress president and the foreign dignitaries over here. Just to talk about the protocol, because when we talk about the state honor which has been given as far as the funeral rites are concerned, can you just explain to our viewers, even as we are seeing those final pictures, I mean, I think the funeral pyre is going to be lit anytime now. But Siddhant, talking about the state honors which are going to be, by which the funeral rites are taking place, what is to explain to our viewers? What does it entail? What does it involve?
Well, the state honors with full military, with full military honors is perhaps something which the government announces. In fact, yesterday also, it was announced through a notification that had come from a Ministry of Home Affairs, and later the preparation work is done by Ministry of Defence. And in fact, there was a second notification which we received from Ministry of Defence. In fact, that particular notification also talks about the hierarchy protocol according to which the dignitaries will pay homage to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and after which the mortal remains would be taken for the religious rites. So it's a full state funeral. In fact, the national flag is flying half-mast, not just in India, but across all Indian missions abroad. The Indian missions have opened condolence books, and in fact, the dignitaries from all across the world, the government representatives, leaders are going to Indian missions to write condolence message, to pay tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. So he holds a very special place, and in fact, not just for the people of his party, Congress party, but for Bharatiya Janata Party also, for Aam Aadmi Party also. In fact, all other political parties, they all have, paid respect tributes to him because of his stature, because nobody can deny the contributions he made, the reform he brought, the visionary he was. And perhaps when India was growing, when India, after liberalization, when there was a time to grab the opportunity, and to reap the fruits of liberalization, perhaps at that time also, Manmohan Singh's policies helped India to grow at par with the other countries. In fact, you see, not just 1991 forex crisis, Pallavi, in 2008 Great Recession. At that time also, Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, and it barely touched us. The recession barely touched India. So again, it happened because of his policies and his vision. So there have been a lot of contributions. He was bad at marketing. He was not a great somebody who could put out his work and talk about it all the time. He was never that kind of a leader because he was never traditionally a politician. But he was always seen as somebody who believes in change, touching people's lives through reform. And this is a reason that still in this cold, Pallavi, from morning, people have come in large numbers. Thousands of them have come, not just to AICC, but Nigambodh Ghat also. They're not being allowed by the police. They're standing out, just to pay tribute to former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. So that is what he has achieved, despite being, despite not coming traditionally from a political background. He has achieved so much. So it's only because the impact that his policies have brought into the lives of millions of us.
But yes, I mean, look at the irony of it. I mean, everyone, when he became the Prime Minister for the first time round, Siddhant thought that he perhaps would not be able to pull off a coalition. You had unlikely bedfellows. You had people like the DMK, which was not in a very good equation. You had the left, ideologically very different. You had a Mamata Banerjee, again, ideologically very different. The TMC being carved out of the Congress party. But, I mean, I know people give credit to Sonia Gandhi, but after all, he was the face of the government. He was the Prime Minister. And there were decisions he needed to be taken, and he decided to take everyone along. Yes, Siddhant. Okay, I'm going to try and reconnect with Siddhant once again. I mean, I'm just seeing those pictures coming in live from inside a Nigambodh Ghat. Full state honours after tributes were paid by the Prime Minister, the President and the Vice President of India, the Home Minister and all of them. And now this is the last rites, religious rites, and a chants, of course, have been done. The religious rites, we can see his immediate family over there. But apart from that, we can see the Congress party in full strength. There's a Congress President, there's Sonia Gandhi, there's Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. All of them are very much there. But around his mortal remains is his immediate family. We were talking about this. Very rare moment when the family can be seen. Normally, his wife was seen publicly, that too at official events. The children were very rarely seen. Prime Minister very clearly in a somber mood over there, attending the last rites after paying his tributes today also. And we can, I think, the countdown to the last moment has arrived. It was scheduled to begin at around. Okay, I'm going to try and reconnect with Siddhant once again. Siddhant, the people across party lines, some of them with whom he may have had difference of opinion, exchange of war of words. I mean, this is the moment I remember Pankaj Pachauri was talking about. He stands vindicated as a person who can be seen as a people's Sardar also. And also the fact is that even those who may have had differences with him want to sink it, because for them his achievements matter more today.
Well, absolutely, Pallavi. It matters most, and in fact, the famous statement which Prime Minister Manmohan Singh made in his last press conference, that the world would be more kinder to me than the contemporary media of that time. So, at that time there was this atmosphere against the government. He was leading the government, though he was the most credible face of the government in those times also. And in a way, the entire blame was shifted on him. In fact, his own people criticized him, and not many things happened. But when you look at the larger perspective, when you look at the larger journey, at a bigger canvas, you see the contributions he made, and the services he offered to the country, being on different portfolios, and holding different offices, and his tenure has completely been clean. Not a single blot on Dr. Manmohan Singh's image or his personality can ever cross. So his always very this kind of a leader who never had any allegations made against him.
Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I'm trying to. I'll try and reconnect to you, Siddhant, in a bit, because obviously there are jammers in place. I think The final moment is here. I'm seeing the pictures over here. The Prime Minister, Delhi Chief Minister, the King of Bhutan, all of them are over here. Basically, of course, as we pointed out, it's a state honours, with full state honours. The funeral rites are to be held. 7 days of mourning. But before that, the Congress party has been in full strength with Dr. Manmohan Singh. You can see Sonia Gandhi there, the Congress president, Rahul Gandhi, of course, who accompanied that cavalcade. This Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, the Congress chief ministers are over there. At this point of time, I think the religious rituals are being carried out. His wife is very much there. You can see the Prime Minister, the HM, the Defence Minister, all of them are there, as is the Lieutenant Governor, can be seen up on your screens. But before that, all of them paid their tribute. And well, I mean, you know, we've been speaking to multiple people and all of them have been talking about the legacy that he leaves behind. And it's not just the economic ones. I mean, he was a finance minister from 91 to 96. But, you know, apart from that, he was the prime minister for good 10 years. And despite the fact that there were pressures coming in from the allies, there was, you know, he was able to manage the government. And it was seen as a winning team of Sonia Gandhi as well as Dr. Manmohan Singh, which at least ensured that the UPA completed its term. The UPA too certainly seemed like a moment when it seemed that will it or will it not be able to complete its term, but they managed to complete its term. Getting a close-up of the rituals which are taking place. I think his family, his daughters are certainly there. His wife is very much there, Gurcharan Kaur. And she's again always been seen by his side. Today again she's there in his final moment by his side, and we are waiting for those final rituals to take place. The family, guess I wanted this way, the funeral wasn't taking place yesterday because his daughter, one of his daughters is working at the Stanford Law Institute, and you know, they were waiting for that. Plus, there were a large number of people who really wanted to pay their tribute. At the Congress headquarters around 8:30, his mortal remains reached for at least an hour and a half. It was kept at the AICC headquarters, where again all the top Congress leaders. Okay, I think we are coming to the closure of the last rites of Dr. Manmohan Singh. There was that's also a part of the state honours, 21 gun salute before and after. And the nation is paying homage to Dr. Manmohan Singh. Siddhant, if you're still with us, I'm going to try and go across to Siddhant in a bit. Okay, I'm going to try and connect to Siddhant in a bit, but you can see his immediate family members are there, and of course his wife Gurcharan Kaur, and he's survived by 3 daughters. So the funeral pyre has been lit, and this was after the 21 gun salute. You saw the Prime Minister, you saw all the other VVIPs, and of course the Congress party in full strength at the last ceremony of the last rites rather of Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was a Prime Minister from 2004 to 2014, and also he became the Finance Minister from 91. You can see his wife now being brought down after the the final rites have been completed. His daughters are also there. He's survived by his 3 daughters and immediate family members. So I think the funeral rites are finally done. And it was in full strength actually, not just his family, but the Congress party, but even from the government, even from the representing everyone. I mean, there was the Prime Minister, there was of course the the President of India, Vice President, a Lieutenant Governor, you had the Union Home Minister and the Defence Minister, and a 21-gun salute as full state honours bestowed on the former Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Okay, now where we can see, I think that's his daughter, if we can get a look at the close picture, meeting up with the Prime Minister of India. Yes, that's, meeting up with the Prime Minister of India, exchanging some words. And there is of course a Defence Minister, there is the, the Home Minister as well, and Sonia Gandhi, of course, was insisted. She was there yesterday. She was today there at the Congress headquarters as well, accompanying that cavalcade. To listen to her tribute yesterday, she said it was a personal loss. They worked very closely together for a good 10 years. I think the VVIPs are now going to begin to leave. You can see the King of Bhutan over there. And family members also. There is the President of India. Then I think they are just going up with the final ceremony being over. The Prime Minister, and then we also have, for example, the King of Bhutan. Okay, let me just go across to my colleague Payal Mehta, who's now joining us. Payal, the point which the Prime Minister made in his tribute yesterday, that he's a man with a humble origin. We can see the President of India leaving for the venue. And the man with a humble origin, his glowing tribute was also an acknowledgement of the fact that Dr. Manmohan Singh has touched upon many lives, and today in full attendance of all the dignitaries of the Congress party, and specifically let's talk about the Prime Minister of India.
Well, absolutely. When people talk about Dr. Manmohan Singh, they talk about the Prime Minister of the country, irrespective of whichever political side he came from, irrespective of whichever political side he represented. But, anybody who's, rubbed shoulders with Dr. Manmohan Singh, or probably, journalists like you had the fortune to cover his regime as well, we'll always remember him for his words, we'll always remember him for his action, and we'll always remember him for the kind of liberating things that he's done. In fact, opening up the Indian economy, for example, bringing in reforms like the right to education, right to information. The Aadhaar is also one of his brainchild. The GST, something that the Congress party had proposed then as well. So his works, and like they say that, human being comes and goes, that's part of your destiny, philosophically speaking. But your memories stay forever, your work stays forever, and your work speaks beyond, beyond your living, or beyond the fact that you're gone as well. So obviously, a lot of somber memories that people have, in fact, remembered. You saw the Prime Minister also in a very somber mood while he came to pay his final tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh. And of course, the various other political leaders who, in fact, thronged in from far and wide, in fact, to pay their tributes to Dr. Manmohan Singh and bid him his final goodbye, and his final journey is now complete. Pallavi.
The final goodbye is now complete, but Payal, there was this entire talk which was taking place, and we are looking at those final moments. Slowly, all the dignitaries have left the spot. Payal, the cabinet meeting which took place, if you can just take us through, in which one, it was decided to give state honours. Of course, that notification came in before that. But apart from that, this entire decision which the Home Minister conveyed to the Congress President, that there's a procedure we are going to follow, but we also respect Dr. Manmohan Singh, and hence that Samadhi Sthal that you're talking about will happen.
Well, of course, not only did Amit Shah speak to Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, but he also did speak to Dr. Manmohan Singh's family, essentially conveying the sentiments of the government, saying that the government in no way whatsoever wants to disrespect the contribution of Manmohan Singh as much as any other prime ministers of the past. And that's the reason the Nehru Memorial, Pallavi, which was initially dedicated only to just one former prime minister, is now the Museum of the Prime Ministers, essentially where, respects have been paid to all the leaders, all the prime ministers who, in fact, led the country over the last many decades as well. But this probably left a little bad taste in the mouth, given the fact that the Congress party, when they put out that letter that Mallikarjun Kharge had sent to the Prime Minister, he also mentioned that he had spoken to the Prime Minister, spoken to the Home Minister. It would have only been okay that if he would have just come out and said that yes, we've got some sort of an assurance, from the letter, the way it appeared, Pallavi, it looked like. And that they had made a request and they hadn't heard from the government so far, because various political leaders across the party circle, whether it's Akhilesh Yadav or Pratap Singh Bajwa, a Sikh, a leader himself as well, multiple people had come out and really said that this is not the way in which the government should be really disrespecting a former prime minister. But the equation was completely changed the moment we saw the notification coming in. And reluctantly, the government did put out the notification. I'm given to understand that they do not want to put this out at this somber hour. They wanted the funeral to take place because, eventually the family, whose loss is the most. The family's loss is the most as far as Manmohan Singh is concerned. His three daughters would be inconsolable at this point in time. No matter if your parents are like 92, Pallavi, or even 100 years old or 500 years old, your parents are always going to be your parents. Obviously, keeping in sentiment with that, the government, we are given to understand, did not want to make a show about the entire matter. But since it started taking a political turn, that's when the government, I'm given to understand, very reluctantly put out that information through the Ministry of Home Affairs, essentially saying that yes, we have in fact spoken to Manmohan Singh's family. We have in fact conveyed our sentiments to Mallikarjun Kharge. We have told him that there was a notification, Pallavi, in 2013, which was passed during the cabinet led by Dr. Manmohan Singh himself, essentially saying that since there was a constraint of space in the national capital, it is only pertinent that one particular common spot should be there, and when of course the memorials of all the presidents, vice presidents, and of course the prime ministers to be made over there. And the BJP, in fact, following that, in fact, awarded a memorial to the late Atal Bihari Vajpayee, one of the tallest leaders in the BJP ranking, at that very spot as well. But considering the request coming in from the family, considering that the request came in from the Congress top brass, the government was under consideration. But you understand that in the business of government, when you have to in fact pass any resolution or make any changes, there are a lot of procedures and processes which follow that as well. So that is something which the government has assured the family, assured the Congress leadership that this will be done, but they have to be given a couple of days, and that couldn't have been done overnight. And that's the reason they requested the family to peacefully go ahead with the
Funeral.
funeral. And I'm given to understand that Dr. Manmohan Singh's wife wanted the funeral and the memorial to be at the same place, but it was a very short time for that to be really done. And that's the reason, keeping in sentiments with the family, you've seen the top brass of the BJP also in attendance. Rajnath Singh, number two in the entire system in terms of the government, hierarchy. You've seen Amit Shah come there. You've seen the Prime Minister himself being present through the entire ceremony. That's something which tells you that, politics aside, sometimes, there are things which are beyond politics. There is respect which is beyond
Yes.
politics. And the
Payal,
reason
I'm
that
sorry to interrupt you here. I'm just giving a quick update. I think slowly, all the VVIPs, the president and all of them are leading. And the last pictures are coming in of, say, Rahul Gandhi with accompanying his wife, Gursharan Kaur, and of course Sonia Gandhi, who's been there right from the beginning. Payal, let's just talk about the tribute which was paid by the Prime Minister. We heard those emotive words. Obviously there have been political differences between them, and 2014 was a very acrimonious election, but that's different. That's politics, right? But whatever the Prime Minister said in his tribute, Payal, also reflects that he genuinely did respect Dr. Manmohan Singh and valued his contributions.
Anybody who has understood how Indian politics has really worked cannot but respect Dr. Manmohan Singh purely for the economic acumen that he really had. He was an economist of par excellence. That's something which the Prime Minister has reflected in his tribute to Dr. Manmohan Singh. He also went on to say that
Payal, sorry,
in fact,
just to interrupt you for a second, the Prime Minister's cavalcade has also left. That was a quick update we wanted to give. Yes, go ahead, Payal.
right. So, like I said, that the Prime Minister himself has been very respectful of Dr. Manmohan Singh, because whenever he would take oath, he would make a point, like Pallavi, you've been reporting, that he would go and to seek blessings of Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Correct.
The kind of respect that Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave to Pranab Mukherjee, the late president, is also exemplary. His daughter speaks about it all the time on social media and otherwise as well. So obviously, some posts are over and beyond, the political, bickering as well. And it was this government that actually gave Pranab Mukherjee the Bharat Ratna, something which was due to him in a long, long time, for a party which is infamous for, in fact, giving, Bharat Ratna to their own former prime ministers during their own regime. For example, that is something which was, of course, denied to PV Narasimha Rao, something which the party has not been able to do, and that's the grievance of the family all along as well. But like I said, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that it was his government who, in fact, came forth and honored many stalwarts, honored many greats who did not ever get their recognition, did not ever get their due. And that's the reason Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is also being celebrated the way he really has been celebrated. Because Narendra Modi and the government over here in the center felt that there are many unspoken heroes who need to be given that due. And that's the reason one of the discussions, when we saw in the recent, in the parliament session where we discussed the constitution of the country celebrating 75 years, multiple members of the government came out and spoke about the contribution of 17 women who were instrumental in forming the constitution, and nobody gave them their due. Nobody even gave them their names out so far as well. So this has been the nature in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has been functioning. There are long gone, Pallavi, are the days when people would actually have to lobby in political quarters to get Bharat Ratna or probably get even Padma awards as well. The Prime Minister has opened up those Padma awards to the most unsung heroes who've actually done so much of work on ground in their respective field, but nobody really cared about what their contribution really was. And that's the reason People's Padma is now what the Padma Awards are called. So that's the kind of contribution that we've really seen. But once again, bringing it back to Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Prime Minister has had him in utmost regard. And in fact, last time around, when the Prime Minister spoke on the floor of the Rajya Sabha, when Dr. Manmohan Singh's term had come to an end in the Rajya Sabha, he had served in the Rajya Sabha for 33 long years. And look at his commitment. I remember in August 2023, when the no trust motion debate was going on and the voting was supposed to happen, Dr. Manmohan Singh came on a wheelchair to cast his vote. So that's the kind of contribution that Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about. He came there to vote for the purpose of democracy and nothing more and nothing less as well. So, obviously, rich tributes coming in. But like I said, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that he has maintained the highest records and respect for the contribution of Dr. Manmohan Singh towards the cause of this great nation.
And slowly, all the VVIPs are now leaving the Nigambodh Ghat. The Prime Minister, the President of India, the family also is leaving the Nigambodh Ghat. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Payal. The pictures of 2022, when he had come to cast his vote for the presidential elections then. And of course, 23, as you correctly pointed out, is when the no confidence motion. That's the commitment, that's the grit. And like Prime Minister Modi, not known to take any holidays. That's also what Dr. Manmohan Singh was known about. We're not going to talk about Samadhi so much. We'll talk about that a little later because it is, of course, a solemn moment. But the fact that the government did not waste time, they wanted to give a state honor, 7 days of mourning, and also trying to tell the Congress party that acrimony need not be a part of politics always. It's time to be gracious and acknowledge the achievement of someone who may not be a part of our party, but of course, nation comes first. That's the Prime Minister's message.
Well, absolutely. The Prime Minister rushed to Dr. Manmohan Singh's house in the morning. He paid his tributes. Home Minister Amit Shah had accompanied him. Not to forget that the moment the news of Manmohan Singh being critical was out, the first person to rush to the AIMS hospital was JP Nadda, the Union Health Minister, and also the BJP's national president. So there are certain things which are over and above politics, and not to forget that some of these leaders who are actually acrimonious with each other on the face of it are extremely good friends behind close quarters as well. So not everything is about politics and not everything is about being enemy or being friends. It's we cannot always compare apples and oranges. There are of course a lot of gray areas in between as well. Having said that, the Prime Minister in fact condoled the death of Singh in his cabinet. The cabinet was called in precisely for that. 2 minutes silence was observed, and just before that, even the night before that, the government had already made an announcement that the 7-day national mourning would take place. All the programs stand cancelled. The Prime Minister, in fact, Pallavi had a rally in the national capital tomorrow that was supposed to take place sometime tomorrow as well, but that also stands cancelled. In fact, one huge program that the Prime Minister was supposed to address, where about 50 lakh people would be impacted, that also was cancelled yesterday because there's nothing over and above, the traditions and the customs and the protocol that this country really follows if they've declared a national mourning. And that's the reason, of course, a 2-minute silence was also observed at the Union Cabinet meeting, after which the Prime Minister immediately conveyed to Amit Shah that, yes, I have had a conversation with Mallikarjun Kharge. This is what their concern really is. You must address it immediately. And Amit Shah, being the prompt person that he is, immediately contacted Mallikarjun Kharge. We are given to understand, contacted the family as well, told them what the circumstances really were, because it's not about just doing something. There are government protocols which need to be followed. When some direction needs to be changed, when some protocol needs to be changed, or when some rules need to be amended, there is a protocol which needs to be followed, because like it's said in the Home Ministry release that you need to form a trust, and all of these things will take a couple of days as well. But the decision of the government was not conveyed well in time, because I'm given to understand that the government at this point in time, Pallavi, did not want to engage in this politics. So at one point in time, when the entire country is mourning Dr. Manmohan Singh, for the Congress party to come out and really put out that letter in the open, and Mallikarjun Kharge, Jairam Ramesh and the others speaking about it and trying to create a political narrative around it, is most unfortunate. At least that's what people in the government are now saying.
And okay, now I think the last few moments left, as far as I've been slowly, all the dignitaries have started coming out. But from here on, there's a legacy which Dr. Manmohan Singh leaves behind. But very rarely, isn't it, Payal, that you see that, I don't know, when you see that the foreign envoys also want to come, those tributes are also paid. And whether it's AAP, whether it's Congress, whether it's the BJP, I saw Ramdas Athavali, if I'm not mistaken, also seated there. Praful Patel went to pay their tributes. This is the mark of the man.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, that death unites everyone. To be honest, Pallavi. But in case of a person like Dr. Manmohan Singh, leaders from across the entire political circle, whether it was leaders who were from his political party, from his alliance partners of the past, multiple leaders, nobody really stopped themselves from actually going there and paying their final tribute, just going and bowing down before Dr. Manmohan Singh, essentially respecting his position that he occupied, respecting the kind of contribution that he really made to that as well. So even several low-rank BJP leaders were also asked to be there and be present and see if any inconvenience was not caused to the family. And that's the reason you just mentioned, Pallavi, a short while ago. Then Manjinder Singh Sinsa, BJP leader, Sikh leader, was also there assisting in the funeral ceremony in a way as well, because he would understand the traditions and the customs extremely well. So that's something which one has really seen. But like I said, that one's heart goes out to the family. Essentially, Pallavi, eventually it's their loss. It's their human loss. The Gurcharan Kaur has lost her husband, and the daughters have lost their father, and a heart must go out to them as well, because it is their biggest loss at this point in time speaking. And it is exemplary that Dr. Manmohan Singh, just like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has never allowed his family to come to the forefront. His family has been the most underrated. They've been just behind the scenes as well. They've not come out and exerted themselves or asserted themselves in any manner. That is exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done. He is not. He's been somebody who's been pretty much occupying his own chair and has never let any agenda dominate. Whether it's his family or otherwise as well. So obviously that is something which of course is another leaf that one can borrow from the likes of these leaders, saying that yes, you have been given a responsibility or entrusted with the responsibility to lead the country. Do just that. Don't allow your selfish interest to be pursued in the process. That's at least a learning for the younger generation.
Okay, Payal, do hold on with us. This is, of course, going to remain a top story even as the final journey of Dr. Manmohan Singh has been completed. We're going to a break now, but news continues over here on CNN News 18.